How are you all? Hope you are fine. So, have you all watched the previous video? Yes? What we have started, which lesson we have started? History, chapter 2, from hunting, gathering to growing food. So, we have started the lesson. Okay? So, we have seen about hunter-gatherers in the previous video. So in this video we are going to see more interesting facts about these people. So let's start. So first, finding about the fire. So fire, you all know fire, right? Yes, children? Yes. So traces of ash show that the people at that time have invented the fire. So ancient period, during this stage, the people have discovered the fire. Okay, so for what purpose they have used fire? Do you have any guesses? No? So let's see. So first, as a source of light. As a source of light. So today we are using bulb and tube lights for light. Yes, we are using that for a source of light in our house at night times, right? So in olden days there won't be any electricity or any bulb or anything. So at that time they have used this fire as a source of light. So look here, they have used fire as a source of light. Okay children, so what's the first point? They have used fire as a source of light. So have you all understood, children? Okay, so we move to the next point. So second, they have used fire to roast meat. So nowadays we are using gas stove or induction stove for cooking, right? So we are cooking on that different kinds of dishes and variety of dishes we are cooking using that. But in the olden days there were no gas cylinder or induction stove or any scientific machine for cooking. So they have used fire to roast meat and eat. Okay children, so they have used fire for cooking to roast meat. Okay children, so what's the second point? They used fire to roast meat. They used fire to roast meat. Okay children, so we move to the third point, to scare away animals. So they have used this fire as a weapon to scare away animals. So in the olden days there won't be any modern or scientific instruments or something to scare animals. So nowadays they are using crackers or some different kinds of sound making instruments to scare animals. But in the olden days there won't be anything for making the animals to scare. So they have used this fire as a weapon to scare animals, to safeguard themselves from wild animals. Okay children, to safeguard themselves from wild animals. Okay, nowadays if any elephant or any wild animals enter the home, that means select areas, our living areas, if the wild animals enter, they will call and inform to the respective department. So from that department the people come and they use some methods or some things to scare away the animals or to get the animals in their hand. Okay, but in the previous time there won't be anything, any facility to safeguard themselves from animals. So they have used fire to safeguard themselves from animals. Okay children, to safeguard themselves from animals. Okay children, so we should not hurt animals, right? Nowadays also we should not hurt animals. Okay, we should not hurt animals. So they have just used that to scare away the animals, to make the wild animals to run away. Okay children, so next, the changing environment. A changing environment. So around 12,000 years ago there were major changes in the climate. Okay, so around 12,000 years ago, what changes happened? Changes in the climate. Okay, so because of that, there were development of grasslands. Development of grasslands. So many grasses were there. So this lead to the increase in the number of animals that survived on grass. Okay, so there were more grass. So this lead to the increase in the number of animals. Number of animals that survived on the grass. That means that ate grass and lived. Okay, and so people started thinking about herding and rearing these animals. So now more animals are there. So people started, we can grow this animal and we can get the yield from that animal. So if cow is there, means you can grow that, you can get yield like milk, then you can get meat. Yes, children. So if it's sheep, what all you can get? You can get wool from the hair, that means from the fur you can get wool. The next, second, what you can get? You can get meat. So like this, they have started thinking like, okay, we can grow the animals for getting the yield from the animals. Okay, so that is herding and rearing. Then they have started fishing also. So fishing also became important for people. So you all know, right, fishing, right? They use some net or some tools to get the fish from the river. Okay, next. So beginning of farming and herding. So how this farming and herding begin? What made them to start this? So beginning of farming and herding. So with the development of grassland, so we have seen there's a change in climate because of the what have developed grassland. More grasses are there. So people came to know about growing wheat, barley and rice in different parts of the subcontinent. So what they thought of growing? Wheat, barley and rice. So nowadays also we are using, right, wheat, barley and rice. So they started growing that. From that they started practicing farming. They started practicing farming. Okay, children. So what and all they started growing? First wheat, barley and rice. So what are the things they have started growing, children? So wheat, barley and rice. Okay, children. So we'll move to the next slide. So people also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near the shelters. So the first animal to be tamed was wild ancestor of the dog. So what is the meaning of tamed? Tame. What is the meaning of tame? That means they are started controlling the animals. If that is wild dog, they have started controlling and they made that animal calm. Okay, so that is first animal to be tamed was wild ancestor of the dog. Okay, wild ancestor of the dog. So that wild became domestic. Understood, children? So making wild to domestic is called tame. Okay, children? Next, animals such as sheep, goat, cattle and also pig lived in herds and most of them ate grass. So what are the animals, children? Sheep, goat, cattle and pig. They lived in herds. Okay, they lived in herds and most of them ate grass. Okay, often people protected these animals from attacks by other animals. So this is how they have become herders. They have become herders. So they have started growing these animals in one particular place and they protected these animals. So thus they became herders. Okay, herders. Understood, children? Okay. So next. So look this. So wild ancestor of dog. So they tamed this animal. Tamed means they control this animal and change that animal from wild to domestic. Understood, children? Wild, they will be very rough, okay, very arrogant, very like barking and very rough. They made that animal, they controlled that animal be quiet. Okay, next. Then they grown some animals, right? So like goat, sheep, cattle, pig. They also lived in herds. Okay, they started growing animals like goat, sheep, cattle and pig. Okay, children. Next, then they protected that animals from other animals and they became herders. Okay, and they changed to like herders. Okay, children. So they started growing animals in a particular place and they started protecting these animals from other wild animals, and like this they have become herders. Okay, children. Next. Thank you, children. Thank you for listening patiently. So we will see the remaining of this lesson in the next video. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.